This video is a practical demonstration on how to determine the species richness of invertebrates at separate locations in any given stream. For our experiment, we use Markeaton Park as the location to conduct our survey. Kick sampling is a good survey method because you don't need any specialised skills, little equipment is needed, and it is a standardised method which is recognised by the EU Water Framework Directive. The reasons you might want to conduct this survey would be to investigate biodiversity of streams or to look at water quality by the types of species present, as benthic invertebrates often act as indicators of factors such as pollution.
The equipment you'll need for this experiment is a framed net, 2 display trays, a pipette and spoon for transferring between the trays, an identification guide, and a magnifying glass.
Before completing this experiment, you'll need to complete a risk assessment. Your risk assessment must be based on the area which you are going to be conducting the experiment. For our survey, we reduce the risk of injury from sharp objects within the river by wearing appropriate footwear and being vigilant. Another risk was waterborne disease, and a way in which we eliminated this was by making sure that we washed our hands and minimised the time spent in the water. Our final risk was slips, trips and falls. We limited this risk by ensuring that the appropriate footwear was worn and that there is a clear pathway to the river with no overhead obstructions.
The first step to complete this survey is to enter the river at a safe place and then put the net firmly on the stream bed with the entrance of the net facing the opposite direction that the water is flowing in. You then want to kick about 30 centimetres in front of the net for around 30 seconds. In doing this, you'll hopefully catch some of the dislodged invertebrates as they tend to live underneath rocks and within the substrate. Once you have done this, you will need to pour the contents of the net into a display tray containing some water from the same stream. Invertebrates can then be transferred using pipettes and spoons from the original display tray into a second one also containing some water from the stream. This is helpful to see the organisms more clearly, which allows the use of an identification guide and magnifying glass to determine which species are present in the sample. Follow-up lab work can be completed if necessary to look at the organisms under a microscope. However, if this is not the case, the invertebrates should be returned to the stream as close to the area they were collected from as possible.
One of the limitations associated with this survey is that it tends to under-record invertebrate species. This is because some invertebrates may get caught within the net or be attached to rocks that are too heavy to become dislodged. A way to overcome this would be to incorporate the method of stonewashing in conjunction with the kicking. A second limitation that may occur is the inability to measure a wide variety of sites, such as riffles, if they are not present in the stream you are sampling. To try and eradicate this issue, try and sample as many different sites in the stream as possible, or even sample a second stream that contains a riffle to be able to compare the results of each and evaluate the accuracy. The time of year that the survey is conducted may also be a limitation because of how it affects the species' life cycle. For example, the caddisfly eggs can take up to 10 months to hatch, meaning they might not be an accurate representation to the sample size. To improve this, complete multiple surveys throughout different times of the year. In this example, we have shown how to use kick sampling to measure invertebrates at different sites of a stream. However, this method can be tailored to suit other investigations, such as how acidity levels, pollution, or water type affects biodiversity. Overall, by following this method shown in the video and completing a health and safety assessment, you will be able to easily yet effectively complete your own survey to investigate invertebrates in the stream.